Well, this is what happens when you find a bull in the middle of the desert.
That's what happens, bud.
We're gonna yank him out backwards and put him on the trailer. Well, guys, we got the Can-Am up on here. We used a block underneath the upper and lower control arm, took the wheel off, put it on a block, and winched it up on the trailer. Here's the bowl that went down in, just coming through the dust, and didn't realize this bowl was here and dropped down in here, smashed in, hit right there. So I mean, as you can tell, this bowl's got a nice lip all the way around it, but we got her loaded up pretty quick, less than about 30 minutes I'd say. Hey, Desert Redneck's Garage, back to you. New project. I had to stop the trailer project yesterday because we had a family member that wrecked their Can-Am into a bowl, and so we're gonna get working on it today. We got Jonathan in the background. We're gonna get this done and taken care of, get them back out there for Thanksgiving. Take a look. So, unfortunate event, they had gone through the dirt and ended up going down into probably about a 6-foot bowl where they slammed the front end. It didn't do too much damage here on the grill or anything like that, but it did find Can-Am's flaw in the lowers, and that wrinkled here on both sides, as you can see the other side there as well. Kind of think that it's a little bit of a poor design with these lowers on these Can-Ams, the stock ones. It's really long of a run for there not to be. The lowers don't have any type of gusseting there helping support it, especially with the upper shock mounted on the upper A-arm. There's nothing really in the way that stops them from not having a gusset in the bottom. So I think it's kind of a poor design. As you can see, this side held up. It didn't break the knuckle here like it did on the other side. It sheared this portion of the knuckle off from the upper A-arm and yanked the bolt out on the lower. But I think that is definitely a poor design. So we got aftermarket A-arms here, axle, uppers, and we're gonna switch all that out today, so stay tuned. What's going on, guys? So we got the lowers taken off and the uppers there. We went ahead and cut the front of the uppers on one side off to make it easier, because those front 2 bolts that were in that location right there, they were a little bent outward from the impact. So we went ahead and got them taken care of and straightened out. There's just so many other plates that are in the way that you have to get to on the lowers. We got the uppers completely taken off. Now we're getting the aftermarket lowers and uppers put on right now. So we'll show you once we're done. Hey guys, so just a heads up, if you decide to purchase these S3 A-arms, the stock bolts or the stock sway bar link bolts are smaller than the shock therapy bolts are a little bit bigger, so you in turn have to ream out the hole to fit the bolt. Just a heads up. All right, so we got the lowers on, the axle in, the uppers, got the knuckle that they're calling it instead of a spindle, all attached. Just be prepared if you lose this lower ball joint bolt right here, that it is a metric bolt. Do not use a 3/8. There's a little bit of slop in it if you try to use a 3/8, and so we had to search everywhere and finally got a bolt. It's a little bit longer than the normal side, but it'll work. At least it fits in that collar, and it's nice and tight. So just FYI too, we had to get a new fan bracket. The upper portion here snapped all the way off, and so he went and picked up a new fan here. Just be prepared that the new fan didn't come with rubber grommets, so we had to pull the rubber grommets off of the old fan and use them. So we're getting everything put back together now. Everything's going great, and I'll do another update. Hey guys, so at this point right now, I'm not sure what happened, but at the end of
this build. We didn't do an outro video, so I'm just wanting to show you a couple images from it being done and complete. But then we do jump into bringing the car back and adding some aftermarket parts. So take a look at these.
Hey guys, welcome back to Desert Redneck Garage. We are back on the Can-Am project. So as you can see behind me, everything was done. The customer was happy running everything, but we did get some feedback from the customer that our links that we put in it seems like the sway bar was adjusting back and forth, side to side, just ever so slightly, allowing the shock therapy nuts and bolts to come in contact with the frame and slowly touch the side of the frame. So we're gonna take those off of there, along with adding a couple more aftermarket parts, such as the shock tower mount, alleviating the plastic that's in there. So we're gonna go ahead and add that, and then also the main bulkhead. You got all the aftermarket bulkhead parts as well. So we're gonna go ahead and take the front off. He's just going S3 on everything. So we got all the aftermarket components and also some new sway bar links as well. So he's got a little bit smaller sway bar links. So we're gonna give these a shot and put these in for him and see how that ends up working out for him. So stay tuned, and we're gonna go ahead and start pulling this front end apart. These front ends with this Can-Am, absolutely miserable. Taking all of these little clips off everywhere is just a nightmare back and forth with pulling this off. Whoever the engineer and designers of the Can-Am front end needs to figure something out and make it a lot easier with taking some of this stuff off, because it's a nightmare for anybody working on them, changing parts out on them. I mean, the Razor stuff is so much easier. So, I mean, they need to do something, at least make all the screws and bolts accessible from the outside. I mean, if you're gonna have exposed bolts here just like this, then make them all exposed. You gotta reach inside, outside, take parts off, remove other sections to get to the backside. I mean, it's one thing after another to take every single piece off. They gotta figure out a better way. I mean, people out there could agree that it is a nightmare to take these front ends apart. So we're gonna jump into it and go ahead and get these new parts put on, and we'll keep you guys updated. Hey guys, as you can see, we got the whole front end apart. We got the shock tower mount off, the stock one that's on there, because we're doing the S3 conversion kit. and got this mounted on there. Pulled both of the shock bolts off. Just be aware that the little bolts on the side of the bulkhead here, they're not really that long enough to reach all the way on there. So just be prepared to kind of find a longer bolt to put in these to cinch them down. Got everything else mounted on here, ready to go. We are going to go ahead and start mounting the fan back on and the radiator, and then get our S3 bulkhead on here. I did talk to the client, and we are going to just put the front gusset kit off to the side for now, because it does require a lot more entailed in getting in here and removing the whole side, getting the front diff off, because this kit goes behind the bulkhead in here, and as you can see, this part will come up through here. So there's some modifications that you have to do in here. It's just a lot of work for no reason. There's no damage to the bulkhead from when he wrecked before. He just kind of got the whole kit. And so we're just gonna go ahead and put this on the shelf for now. And if he in turn needs it later, we'll have it sitting here. We're gonna go ahead and keep moving forward and put the rest of the stuff back on. Hey guys, we're back here. Got everything mounted, got the fan mounted on there, radiator back on, radiator hoses hooked up, and then the front bulkhead back on. I definitely want to say that I do like how this S3 bulkhead looks a lot stronger and beefier than the stock one that's right here on the ground. That one's terrible. This one definitely looks a lot better, looks super clean. We also have put the new links on that we got to tighten down. You do have to get the nuts off of the stock links, the sway bar links here, and use the nuts off of there. But here's the new ones. As you can see, the damage on the side of the frame here from the shock therapy links will show you what had happened on here. Let me take a look. Here's the nut that you can see where it was coming into contact with the frame, and so we're just going to go ahead and take these off and go with a different set on there, ones that fit a lot better. Let me see. Yeah, and this set here, nice billet looking aluminum on a Heim. Real good looking. They came with the S3 kit, so the bolt hole is the same size as the shock therapy ones. So when we did drill out that the upper A arm so that link could fit in there, this is the same. There's no slop around in there, so you should be able to use these as well. Hey guys, so I'm not sure what happened on getting the outro video done and complete. I do apologize about that, but here are a few images of the Can-Am done and complete. You can see the bulkhead and the shock tower mount are both installed and the customer is happy. Please like, tag, share, follow our page, and share it as much as possible. Thank you.